Hey guys, it's Danny, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make my favorite apple pie oats 2 ways. But the format of this video is a little bit different because this is actually a video I shot earlier today on Facebook Live. So we were live on Facebook, I was showing people how to make these oats, and I wanted to bring it over here to YouTube to share with you guys as well. Now, my plan is to start doing some clean and delicious Facebook Lives about once a week. I don't have a set schedule. Each week it will change. I'll send it out in my newsletter and I'll mention it on Snapchat and Instagram and on my social media accounts. So if you're not following me on any of those, make sure to follow me there so you can get the alerts as to when we'll be live on Facebook, because I really would love for you guys to join me over there because it's super fun, because while I'm cooking, we get to chat. So you guys can put in your comments and your questions and your thoughts, and we get to actually have a conversation right there in the moment. Now, for those of you who cannot join me live, don't worry about it, because I'm gonna experiment a little bit like I am today by taking those live videos and uploading them here so you guys can get all the recipes and information that's being shared in those videos as well. But again, I'm going to leave all of those links down in the description box below, so if you're interested, you can check them out. So with no further ado, I present to you my very first clean and delicious live. Actually, I think it was my second, but we are making apple pie oats 2 ways. And we are live. Hello, everybody. It's Danny, and we here in the Clean and Delicious camp have decided we're going to start doing some weekly Facebook Live videos. And so this is our very first one. Technically it's my second one, but the first one was like months ago. So what I'm going to show you guys today are apple pie oats 2 ways. One is going to be an overnight oats recipe, and the other is going to be a quick microwave oat recipe that is one of my go-tos in the morning. Both of these are made with the intention of being clean, delicious, but also pretty easy and quick to make. This way, when the morning comes, when we're all in a rush, and we're in a hurry, we at least have a little bit of time to sit down and enjoy the food that we have made. So if you guys are tuning in, I would love to know who's out there watching, and I would love if you would come down into the comments below and say hello, or let me know where you are watching from, because it's always fun to connect and see where everybody is. And I really want to emphasize that as I'm cooking, please feel free to ask me your questions, share your thoughts, etc., because to me that is what drives the desire to get on and do these live videos, because I absolutely love that we get to both cook and chat. Because you know we be doing the cooking videos all the time, but we don't get to actually talk. So when we do the live videos, we get to talk. So please don't hesitate to share our thoughts, questions, comments down below, okay? And I'm gonna do my best to address them. So while you all say hello, because I know that's what you're doing, I'm gonna get my phone myself so I can see the comments as they come in. Okay. Anybody out there, Bang?
Erin.
Erin, yes. Hi, Erin.
From Chatham, New Jersey. And
ooh, Jersey girl in the house. That's 2 of us.
Jenny Howard.
Okay.
From West Virginia.
All right. Ooh, I gotta turn the volume down. Okay, we have Erin, we have Jenny, we have 2 Erins, we have a Deanna, Sagi. Am I saying your name right? Sagi. I know you. You're like, I always see your comments, and I love how you're like, he's awesome. He's always saying hello and commenting. I just want to make sure I'm saying your name correctly. Okay, let me put my phone up so I can see your comments coming in. Italy, see, that's what I'm talking about. How awesome is this that we get to connect from all over the world? Okay, guys, so it is that time of year. Kids are back to school. If you guys joined me on the Nourish by Tastemade platform last week, we were doing apple recipes there as well. So I wanted to come over here and address apple recipes. And because we had a hectic morning getting my kids out to school, I said, let's do breakfast, okay? Because everybody needs a good, healthy, nourishing breakfast to get that day started. So I'm gonna be showing you first my apple pie oats. These are overnight oats. So the first thing that you're gonna do is you want to get some good old-fashioned rolled oats, and that's what I have in my bowl here. If you get instant oats, this is going to end up being very mushy. If you get steel cut oats, it's not going to get soft enough. So you really want like the good old-fashioned rolled oats. If you were cooking these on the stove, they're the ones that take about 5 minutes on the stove, 2 minutes in the microwave, okay? But there's no cooking with overnight oats. So I've got a cup of oats in my bowl, and to that I'm going to add a cup of milk, which I forgot to grab. Okay. It's basically 1-to-1 oats to oatmeal, okay? I mean oats to milk. So I'm using an unsweetened almond milk, but you could by all means use any type of milk that you like and you prefer. Okay, so I'm gonna mix that right in.
So it's 1 cup to 1 cup?
It's 1 cup, for overnight oats it is.
Okay.
Yep. If you're cooking, it's actually 1 part oats to 2 parts liquid. But when you're doing an overnight oats, it's equal parts, okay? So I have 1 cup of oats, 1 cup of almond milk. Give that a stir, let it come together. Then I'm just gonna season it with a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of nutmeg. These are the spices that make apple pie taste like apple pie. Well, that and the apples, of course. So you wanna give it a few sprinkles, about a 1/4 teaspoon. And then some type of sweetener, and any type of sweetener you like would work, and you don't need much. I would say a teaspoon or 2 if you were using honey or maple syrup. I'm gonna do a little bit of liquid stevia, in which case it's literally just like 2 drops. Because if you've ever worked with the liquid stevia before, it's super sweet, okay? Now, because I don't like to put raw nuts on overnight oats because they get mushy, I'm gonna mix in 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. You could do almond butter, and if you had a nut allergy, you could do the sun nut butter, which is the sunflower seed butter. And we're gonna mix that right in. We have Jacqueline from Boston. She says she always watches on YouTube. Thank you, Jacqueline. And this is so fun to be able to see your faces and to see, oh, we have Clarissa from Santa Monica, California. You guys know I used to live in Santa Monica, and we moved back to New Jersey about 3 years ago, which is like a total change of pace, but it's good. We've got the fall season right now, so that's a big thumbs up, but I do miss California. You know what I miss is those farmers markets. Okay guys, so bang, come in really quick and just see this. You gotta really mix it vigorously because you'll see the peanut butter likes to chunk up. So you just gotta get in there and mix, mix, mix. Whoops, see, get a little. And again, all this is oatmeal, almond milk, a little bit of stevia, some cinnamon and some nutmeg, and a couple tablespoons of peanut butter. Now this recipe is gonna be for 2 servings, okay? So you've got everything mixed together. Now, from here, what I like to do for this recipe, now I was doing this for a picture. What I would do is I'd put all the oats in first, and then I'd put the apples on top. But the apples actually taste better if you put them into the mixture because then they soften up a bit, and it really gives you that apple pie texture. So not only getting the flavor, we're getting the texture as well. So what I do is you need about 1/2 of an apple. When you're cutting your apple into cubes or into like a chop, the easiest way to do it is to cut off the side of the apple into boards, right? So I would call that 1 board, and then the second board, get as close to the core as you can, and there you go, okay? And then you're just gonna come down and across. So we're gonna cut them into strips, and then back the other way to make some cubes. Okay, I'm gonna do this one too. And you can really make these as big or as little as you want. The smaller you make them, the softer they're gonna get. The bigger you make them, the more crunch and texture they're gonna retain. So you kind of just have to ask yourself what you think you would prefer. Do you like a little bite to your apple, or would you like it to get nice and soft? Clearly, I like a little bite. Okay, so I'm gonna take my apples. You're gonna need about 1/2 of a big apple. Mix it right into, oh my gosh, and this is a Honeycrisp apple, guys. It smells so good. That one smells like it came right from an apple orchard. This recipe too is great for kids and adults alike. My kids will eat these happily. And I'm only making 2, but you could easily double, triple, quadruple, make 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, and have them ready for the week. Okay, then once you've got it all mixed up, all you're gonna do is divide this amongst 2 mason jars. And the smarter thing to do would be a bigger spoon. So hang on. Okay, so 2 mason jars. So I go back and forth to make sure everything is gonna be even and fit. And you wanna get that liquid in there because that's what's gonna absorb. Now, if you've never made apple pie oats before or overnight oats before, basically what happens is it turns into like, let's put that one in there. It turns into a custard because all of the liquid absorbs the oats and the oats get nice and soft. So it's almost like a pudding, but
That's surprisingly good.
It's not. Yes, it's surprisingly good. Now these are 6-ounce mason jars, and the 2 servings fit perfectly in the 6-ounce mason jars. So from here, you would literally just pop the lid on, and they're called overnight oats, but really all they need is about 3 hours in the fridge. But they will last weeks, okay? So this is option number 1. And you can easily change this up with the seasons and with whatever ingredients are in, are going on at the time. Christina, wait, we have Sharon. Oh, and Howdy from Texas. Howdy. We have Christina. She found some Honeycrisp apples the other day, and aren't they the best? I think they're my favorite apple. Fuji is second, but the Honeycrisps, oh gosh, they're so good. Okay, so this is number 1, guys. Overnight apple. Then when you wake up in the morning and you're like, don't have time to think about breakfast, you don't have to think about breakfast, but you will have time to sit down and enjoy, because the breakfast is ready to go. So take your breakfast, sit down, make your coffee or your tea, and try to take at least 5 or 10 minutes to enjoy yourself before you enter that cray busy day, okay? That's number 1. Now, the next recipe, and I have to give you guys this recipe with a little bit of a warning. It's a microwave recipe. I know not everybody likes microwave recipes, but sometimes for me, it's microwave or donuts. You know what I'm saying? So I go microwave. This is gonna be enough for 1 person. So basically what I like to do is I will take, when I'm making oats for myself, I usually do about 1/3 of a cup dry. So technically speaking, a serving is 1/3 to 1/2 a cup of dry oats, right? And that cooks up to almost a cup wet.
Some comments coming in.
Oh, yes, let me check the comments really quick. Hello from South Africa, Jamari. What is the best way to heat this in the morning, or is it better cold? Christine, so overnight oats are actually eaten cold. It's not really something you heat up, you just kind of take it out and enjoy. As the cooler weather comes in, if you wanted to heat it, you could certainly just pop it in the microwave for a minute or 2. If you don't like microwaves, you could scoop the whole thing out and put it in a pot and heat it up. But I'm gonna kind of tell you, that would defeat the purpose of making the overnight oats, because it's gonna take you as much time to heat as it would to just make fresh oatmeal. So this is really, the idea is more to eat it like a cold, creamy, custard-like pudding right out of the refrigerator, cold with a hot cup of coffee or tea. I love banana and chocolate overnight. I love banana and chocolate everything. I eat overnight oats cold, says Deanna, so do I. Do I have to add extra milk in the morning to eat it as? No, you don't, because again, it's a custardy texture. So you don't need extra milk. Okay, guys, keep the questions and the thoughts coming. Hi, Danny from your hometown. Hey, Nicole. Nicole's my neighbor. How fun is that? Sharon, can you go over the ingredients again? I missed the beginning. Absolutely. Let's talk about these, and then we're going to go to the next recipe. So, overnight oats, 2 servings, okay? It's 1 part oats to 1 part milk, right? So I did 1 cup of dry rolled oats with 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk. You could use any kind of milk that turns you on. Then I did a couple drops of liquid stevia, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. You could do any almond butter or sunflower seed butter that you like, dash of cinnamon and some nutmeg, because that's where we're gonna get the real apple pie flavors, and half of an apple to mix all of that together, and then divide it amongst 2 6-ounce mason jars, okay? Put them in the fridge overnight. They will be ready for you in the morning. Cold, creamy, delicious, custard-like oatmeal.
Could you use honey or like maple syrup as a
Yes, 100%. So I'm doing the stevia because I've just been playing around with it a lot lately. You could do maple syrup, would be delicious. Honey would be delicious. And I would say you'd probably only need a couple teaspoons, because a little goes a long way. And we are getting the sweetness from the milk, and we're getting sweetness from the apple. So you don't need a ton. Okay, guys, into the fridge that goes. Breakfast will be awaiting you. Okay, so now we're going into my microwave apple pie oats. And like I said before, I know not everybody loves microwaves. I don't do microwaves all of the time, but sometimes if the decision is a donut or a microwave, I'm going for the microwave. So here's what we've got going on. This is for 1 serving. I have 1/3 of a cup of dry rolled oats. Again, if you're using instant oats, they're gonna cook faster. If you're using steel cut oats, you don't do steel cut oats in the microwave. Okay, 1/3 of a cup, and then 2/3 of a cup of water. Now when I'm cooking my oatmeal, I usually use water instead of milk, because I find they get creamy either way.
And this is 2 to 1.
It's 2 to 1. Whenever you cook oatmeal, guys, 2 parts water to 1 part oats, all the time. So this is gonna go in the microwave for 1 minute. Of course, microwaves vary. It's gonna depend on the power of the microwave. Mine only has 1 power. So I just go 1 time around, 1 minute. While that's happening, we're gonna chop up our apple. Same thing for this recipe, guys. cut your apple into boards. I'm gonna cut a little smaller for this one, just for the fun of showing you. You need about half an apple. You can really do as much as you want because we're just gonna top it for this recipe. Okay, Michelle, first time watching live on Facebook. That is so cool. I've been just started playing with these Facebook Live videos, and I have to tell you, I think it's the best thing ever because the only thing I like to do more than cooking is talking. And the fact that we get to actually like have this conversation right now, I think is pretty cool. Maybe they'll come out with something where you guys can just like talk right back. We could press a button. So to chop an apple, whoopsie, go right into strips, just like that. And then you just twist and do the same exact thing. You get out of the way. And you can make it small by keeping it tighter or bigger by going further away. Okay? And you really could do as much apple as you want for this. Okay, so the oats are in there for 1 minute. Now, this is my little microwave oats secret that I do, guys. It's 1/3 cup of the dry oats with 2/3 cup water. Then what I do is I add in 1/4 cup of egg whites. Now, I do this for a couple of reasons. Mostly because it makes the oatmeal it almost makes it like a custard, like a souffle. It makes it really creamy, but we gotta cook it, right? So we do 1 minute with the oats in the water. Then you stir in your egg whites and we're gonna cook it for another minute. And I'm gonna show you the texture when it's done. You're gonna see why I like to do this. Okay, back in, 1 more minute. Oops, oh wait. Let me chat about that for a second. So here's the thing with the egg whites. Yes, it adds a little bit of protein, which I find helps to satiate me a little bit longer, but it also adds this really creamy texture. You're gonna see when it comes out. It gives it like an extra fluff factor, and it kind of bulks the whole thing up a little bit. But if you put the egg whites in the first time around, you will end up with scrambled egg whites. So you have to cook the oats and the water for a minute first because it's like tempering. What do you do when you temper, like when you're baking, right? When you have to temper the liquid.
You're just warming it up.
That's basically what we're doing here. You have to warm up the oats in the water so that when the egg whites go in there, they kind of slowly mingle and they end up creating a whole different texture. If you were to put it in when everything was cold and cook it together, you would end up with scrambled egg whites. So 1 minute without, then you add the egg whites in and stir and watch what happens next. It's still going. Oh, another important point, guys, with the microwave. Always do glass, right? You don't want to do plastic in the microwave, number one. And when you're doing oats like this, make sure you get a bowl that you think is probably a little too big. Because if you do a small bowl, it will all spill over. I wanted to mention that earlier. Okay. See how high it rose up? Now it's going down, but it rises up when it cooks. So if we didn't do that, it would end up spilling all over your microwave. And that would not make for a quick moving morning now, would it? Okay. So we have 1/3 part water, 2/3 part, from the top. 1/3 oats, 2/3 of a cup of water, and then we cooked that for 1 minute. Came back, added 1/4 cup of egg whites. Now we're gonna season it. Again, you know what I'm gonna do this time? Let's do the maple syrup. Change it up. Any liquid sweetener you like would work. Of course, here in the Clean and Delicious Kitchen, we like to try to keep it to whole sweeteners, right? So we've got maple syrup, we have honey, stevia. So that's a little bit more than a teaspoon. I have to say the maple syrup with the oatmeal, with the apples is a really good combination. Then I have a little bit of the cinnamon and the nutmeg again. So that's basically where we're getting all of our flavor from. And we're gonna stir it all together. Okay. Now, what I do for this recipe, oh wait, I put something, let me get a clean bowl. Now, anybody in the morning has time to do this, right? You just grab your oats and your water, 1, 2, 3, you chop your apple while it's in there and you're ready to rumble. So, into my bowl. Ooh, look, there we go. See, wait, that's a good example. A little piece of my egg cooked. But I don't know why that happened, but it did. It's okay, it'll still taste good. Okay. Okay. Then you add your toppings. So for this, I like to put my crisp apples right over the top, just like that. And then for this one, I don't do the peanut butter. I like to do the fresh nuts. When it's hot cooked oatmeal, I like these fresh nuts over the top. The thing is with the overnight oats, the nuts would get soggy and we don't want that. So I've got about a tablespoon of chopped fresh walnuts, and that, my friends, is our
Was that cinnamon and nutmeg you put in there?
cinnamon and nutmeg, because those are really the flavors that go into apple pie. Then, you know, however you like to eat your oats, you can, but I like to get in there, take a little bite of the oatmeal, make sure you have the apple and the walnuts, so you're getting all the taste, the flavors and the textures.
And while she's enjoying that, let me just tell you that Danny makes every bite count. She does not skimp on a bite with all the flavors.
My husband always makes fun of me because whenever I make any bite of food, to me, every bite should be like the perfect bite. So I enjoy my food, people. I want it to taste good. So that's what we have, okay? We have our overnight oats in the jars, which are eaten cold and are like a, wait. Thanks for the tip on the bigger glass dish in the microwave. Absolutely, Sharon. Thank you for being here. Maya, that was cinnamon and nutmeg. Absolutely, it was. Sharon, I love when you eat your food. I love to eat food, girl. Melody, is there any taste of egg? There is not. As long as you temper that egg white, you will not taste it. It really just adds a texture and a consistency, which I think is absolutely delicious. And you get that little extra perk of the added protein. But I just want to say, if you didn't want to do that, oats actually have a little bit of protein in them. The nuts are going to add a little protein and fat. So don't get too crazy about your protein. We all get a little cray-cray. It's fine either way. I just happen to really like the texture, and I do find it keeps me full for a little bit longer when I add that in there. Christina, how much cinnamon and nutmeg? I like to say like a few dashes, but if you were going to measure it, about 1/4 teaspoon for the overnight oats and 1/8 of a teaspoon for the microwave oats. So think it's like 1/8 of a teaspoon per serving, right? Just a few shakes of each. Can it be boxed eggs white? Yes, it can, and actually that's what I usually use. Those egg whites are really easy, they're convenient. You don't have to worry about like wasting the yolk, so I like to buy those boxed egg whites and pour them right in there. And it's funny, because now that I'm thinking about it, I usually use the boxed egg whites, and I bet you that's why I got that little bit of scramble, because this was a fresh egg white, and I only did that because I was out of boxed egg whites. Let's see, what else do you guys have? Any more thoughts? Danny, would love to see some clean and delicious lunch ideas. Anna, I will be happy to be sharing them with you. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we're going to start doing some weekly Facebook Lives, just like we're doing here. We're going to play with doing them at different times of the day, the morning, the afternoon, and the evening. And I will be absolutely sure to work some lunch ideas into those videos. Will you put the recipes on my website? I will leave the links down below, because the recipes are already on my website. So I'll leave you links down below so you guys can get the recipes. And Anna, for the kids, absolutely. We'll do lunchbox for the kids. And I'm gonna leave this in the comments below after too, guys. I already have a one video on YouTube where I did 3 lunchbox ideas for kids. And if you're not following me on Snapchat, my username is Clean Delicious. Be sure to follow me there, because I snap pictures of my kids' lunchboxes almost every day. So that's a great place to really see what's happening in our kitchen, like in real time. And I have to tell you guys, I'm 40, I turned 41 in this month, September, and I was very reluctant to get on Snapchat. I thought it was for the young people. But I'm telling you, once you get on, you might need a young person to explain it to you, because I needed my 16-year-old niece to show me how to figure it out. But once you get on there, it is so much fun, and any of you guys that are already on it can attest to it, because I know, we be chatting on Snapchat. Okay. Oh, awesome. Deanna knew about this from the email. Great. Thanks so much for being here, Deanna. That was super last minute. Okay, guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for popping on with me today.
Happy birthday, Deanna.
Happy birthday, Deanna.
On the 22nd.
On the 22nd, on the 28th. I'm going to leave you the recipes. Thank you. I am Danny Speeds. I'll see you all back here next week, and we'll be sharing new videos on YouTube later this week as well, okay? Have a lovely, lovely week. Thank you for being here, guys. Bye-bye.